morning. It is March 27th and it is day 33 for us in what was voluntary lockdown and now, of course, is lockdown. This is going to get quite serious, and I make no apology for that. It's always been my crusade to try to be ahead of the curve, and I think it's very important because I think what this government is not only denying us, which is decent protection, is decent knowledge and decent information, and only when you have decent information can you make decent decisions, rational decisions, proper decisions, dignified decisions. So, I tell you what, let's first of all, community spread, community transmission. Yeah. I hope you're turning it off. Let's have no more preventable viral transmission. No more community spread. Okay, on to the subject. What is your plan if the virus gets into your home? My mother used to say that during the Second World War, every single family was affected by this. By the Second World War, there was somebody who got sick, there was somebody who died, there was somebody who got killed, not got sick. Anyway, this will be the same. So, what is your plan if the virus gets into your home? At the moment, the numbers look low. They're not low, they're being held back, and I'll tell you for why, and that is because they still need to test the bodies to confirm whether people have died of COVID or whether they've died of something else, and that takes 4 or 5 days, and so the numbers are wrong about the number of deaths. That's another subject. Dina and I have had lots of discussions about this. I've got a kind of shed at the bottom of the garden. It's a summer house, and my choice would be, if I got ill, to immediately go in there and that's where I would either recover or die. And I've ordered a camp bed, and I've put a heater in there because you need it nice and hot in order to have your best chance of fighting this. And Dina would bring food. It's got big glass windows and a glass door, and she could bring food and leave it outside the door, and she could bring the boy, and I could wave at the boy through the glass, and she's a nurse, so we could probably find ways of making me comfortable. She might have to go back to work, actually, in which case she won't be coming home as well, so we've talked about that, in which case she'd be the one. If she goes back to work as a nurse, she'll be the one who's living in the shed at the bottom of the garden, because we've decided she won't be coming into the house. And the nurse's accommodation is 8 to a flat, so you know, it's a meeting. That's community spread. Right, so everybody, I'm sure, is looking and going, you must be mad. Well, let's get real. There are 4,000 intensive care beds in this country. I think Germany has double the amount of intensive care beds per head of population, and Italy has about 1.5 times the amount of care beds per head of population. Don't quote me on these numbers. I'm remembering them off the top of my head. My head is so full of statistics, but I am roughly right. My mother died at home of pneumonia 18 months ago. I'm sure we could have taken her into a hospital, and she could have died in hospital. But I think that would have been pretty awful. I'm one of 3 boys, and we managed to see her out at home, and we did for 3 boys. I think we did quite a good job. The point I'm making really is, for most people, there will be no intensive care bed. Not when the peak of the epidemic is happening, which will be in about 2 to 3 weeks' time from now. There will be no intensive care bed for those that need them. There'll definitely be no intensive care bed if you're over 60. And even if you're under 60, there might not be. Probably won't be. So what are the choices? Well, you can die in a corridor, in a hospital, in a car, in a hospital, outside, on the pavement, trying to get in. Or you can die at home. And I think the government will be putting out advice on how to do this. And as I said, we've made our plan. We've made our plan. We know what we're doing. We also know that there isn't, an outside possibility that we both could die. I mean, women die less frequently than men. And Dina's 40, I'm 58. But still, it's, it's killing younger people. It's killed a young girl of 21 in the UK. It's not statistically impossible. So I've rung several people and I've said, would you be George's parents in the event of our death? And various people have agreed. We still got to sort out various things to do with where everything is in terms of what we have and what goes to who. And there won't be time to do this with a lawyer. Listen, not only do you need to sort all that stuff out, you need to sort out you need to imagine that the worst is going to happen and that you're ready. You need to make a will. You need to say those things that you always meant to say and never have. You need to be ready. And it's the right thing to do, and it's the dignified thing to do, and it's the proper thing to do. And it's the sensible thing to do. It's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. It's going to be another lovely day. We're so lucky. We have a garden. So we can be in our garden. What is your plan if the virus gets into your home? You've got to have a plan. You've got to plan for the worst and hope for the best. Listen, bless you, bless you, bless you. I want you to know this comes from a place of love. I'm not trying to scare people. I'm just trying to get them to wake up. You have to plan. There's no time. You've got to start today. Okay. Have a nice day. Stay safe. Stay home. Stay home. Give our NHS a fighting chance.